I'm gonna tear you apart. The tiny little pieces, they're gonna need the entire forensics team to identify you.
Mel Gibson's film Flight Risk is a claustrophobic thriller set in the skies, and we're recapping the film in 3 minutes or less. Be warned, major spoilers follow. The film begins in a remote cabin in Alaska, where a fugitive named Winston is arrested by FBI agents and U.S. Marshal Madeline Harris. Winston immediately wants to make a deal, and Madeline offers immunity in exchange for his testimony against a crime boss named Moretti. Madeline takes Winston to a nearby airport and boards a single-engine plane to fly to Anchorage. Their pilot is Daryl Booth, but shortly after takeoff, Madeline suspects something is off with him. Winston discovers he isn't the real Daryl Booth, and when the pilot realizes his cover is blown, he attacks Madeline. As the plane goes into a dive, she knocks him out with a stun gun and stops the plane from crashing.
Mayday, mayday. We've been compromised. The pilot's a hitman.
Madeline and Winston tie the pilot up in the rear of the plane, and with the radio and transponder disabled, Harris contacts her supervisor, Deputy Marshal Carolyn Van Sant, using a satellite phone. They connect Madeline with a pilot named Hassan, who gets them flying in the right direction. Harris realizes there is a mole in the Marshal's office and suspects Van Sant. She contacts Deputy Director Coleridge to inform him, who promises to handle it. Winston realizes the payoffs he made for Moretti were to Coleridge, and she informs Van Sant. The pilot then frees himself and stabs Winston. He begins to choke Madeline until Winston uses the knife to stop the pilot. Madeline shoots the pilot with a flare and then knocks him out. With Winston dying from his wound, Madeline increases her speed, but is running low on fuel. Madeline speaks to Coleridge, who reveals Van Sant was killed in a car crash. She accuses Coleridge of being the mole, and he confirms it, telling her no one will believe her. Knowing her only hope is to land, Madeline contacts Hassan by radio, but as they speak, the pilot frees himself from his cuffs and attacks her. She manages to shoot him and land the plane just as the fuel runs out and the engines cut out. The pilot falls out of the plane during the rough landing and is run over by a fire truck. On the ground, paramedics put Winston in an ambulance, and Madeline meets Hassan. Winston is nearly killed by another hitman, but Madeline manages to shoot him before he can finish the job. The hitman's phone rings, and Coleridge is on the other end, asking if Winston is dead. Madeline informs him he is finished as the film ends.
Y'all need a pilot?
And that's our recap of Flight Risk. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video, and thanks for watching.